Hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer, a screamer.
What is going on, YouTube? So today I'm going to be doing Joselyn's Cabaret episode 10 episode review. Before I get started, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys thought about this episode. So this episode, y'all, it's not too much left of the season. We're all just anticipating that reunion. We're all just looking forward to that reunion. Nobody really cares about the rest of the episode, especially because there's not really any fights for the last couple of episodes. It's just who's going to make the cabaret, and the voice of Lexi Blow. Who's gonna make the cabaret for Joselyn? That's all we're worried about, and that's all we're gonna see in the last couple of episodes. It's not really much going on. So it starts off with Joselyn sitting by the pool. Apparently, she's, in her words, under the weather. She said, "I'm under the weather, so I have to save my voice, you know, for the cabaret, for the last performance of the cabaret." This scene is so dramatic. Her titties are out. Her pussy is out. Her ass is out. She's over here taking off her underwear. She dipping in the pool and all that. I was like, you know, you're not that damn sick if you able to do all this dipping and doing it in the pool or whatever. And you already know Zeus. Stay over here, getting all the good footage. They panning up and down. They getting the the plane footage of her body and everything about the pool. And I'm gonna lie, that house is nice. Like Zeus always comes through for Joselyn because the outside with the pool looks fucking amazing. So yeah, so she's not gonna be in this episode a lot because she's under the weather and her throat hurts and she can't really speak a lot. And that's probably because, like she said in the previous episode, she said, "The ballistic, I dipped on your dick. You know, I have a strong throat." So it's like that's probably another reason why she lost her voice. So yeah. Next thing we see Riri, Amber, K Capri, Lexi Blow, and Henny by the pool, and they're talking about the night before. So of course Amber's pissed because she feels as if her opportunity in the cabaret was snatched, and she feels as if it's Chanel's fault, but by being messy with the whole situation, and she feels as if Joselyn should give her another chance, and she wants to basically battle any of the girls. She says she wants to battle any of the girls to be able to get back in the cabaret or whatever. So Riri's like, why? And she's like, why? Because I want to battle the girls so I could get back in the cabaret. So they start talking about the previous performance and how like some of the people there are like, oh, where's Amber? Where's Amber? Like they were looking for Amber or whatever. So of course Amber was like, yeah, of course they're looking for me because yeah, they're not gonna be looking for Raven or whatever. And she imitated Raven dancing. It was the funniest thing ever because Raven does this move where she looks like she's sitting on a toilet. She goes down like this, like she's sitting on a toilet. And Raven, if you go back in all the episodes, she does this for every performance. It looks like she's dipping down into a toilet about to have a seat to take a piss or to take a dump. So it's like the funniest thing ever. Oh, that was so funny. So of course she was like she'll battle any of the girls to get back onto the cabaret, and she doesn't care who she has to face off or whatever, right? So after that happens or whatever, and during this whole scene, it's just, of course, Lexi Blow is leading the conversation. I just can't imagine there being a next season without Lexi Blow, because who are you gonna have to be like the head bitch in charge? Even though Lexi Blow is annoying to me, she kind of rubs me the wrong way because I feel like she thinks she's better than some of the girls in real life. Who's gonna be the HBIC that's gonna basically lead these conversations, basically lead the cabaret? Like I just don't see any of the girls that are left, like Lollipop, Diamond, Raven, who else? Jordan. Like I don't see them leading the conversation. Maybe Jordan, because she has the most experience dancing wise and like cabaret wise out of all of them or whatever, to basically be the HBIC next season. But Jordan's too nice. I feel like if they cast some girls next season and it's some ratchet ass girls, right? They're gonna be the type of girls that's gonna run over run over Jordan and basically bulldoze her and let them get their way or whatever. So I'm interested to see how next season goes. If there is a next season, if Amber wins that lawsuit, hopefully she does. Like I said, I don't want the show to get canceled, but I do want Ballistic to go in jail, and I want Zeus to pay up to Amber to give her all the money she needs for her surgery. That's what I think. to be honest, and for her mental health or whatever, going through that, getting beat up by a grown-ass man. Ballistic Beats, big ass Ballistic Beats, you feel me? Ballistic Beats, that's why he got that name. Like, he incriminated himself by his damn name. Your name is Ballistic Beats. Imagine going to court, they'd be like, okay, Your Honor, who they ask him, what happened? Amber's gonna be like, Your Honor, this man at the reunion, his name is Ballistic Beats. He beat my ass at the reunion. Like, you already lost. You already lost. You already lost. So yeah, Diamond, Raven, and Lollipop are talking in the next scene, and they're talking about how Diamond needs to take the last spot from Amber or whatever. And Lollipop was just like, yeah, like the previous performance, it was like crazy. And like everybody was, it was so much more people than last time. And like, bitch, the cake, they dropped the fucking cake, Diamond. This shit is crazy. Like, you need to get that last spot and pop your pussy so that way you can get Amber's spot, because that bitch is extra as fuck, okay? And then you already know Raven. Raven's just like, yeah, girl, like, you already know you want to get that last spot, and I want you to do some pole tricks or whatever, and yeah. So of course, it from later on in the episode, I'm talking about their dances. It looks like Diamond has been practicing a little bit, so I don't know who's been putting her up on game. I feel like she's been getting lessons low-key from Riri or Jordan to make her a little bit better, because we never seen her do no pole tricks. And the fact she did pole tricks later on in the episode, it kind of shocked me or whatever. So of course Diamond wants to get picked so that way she could take Amber's spot and then kind of rub it in Amber's face too. And isn't it a coincidence that all the girls that end up getting picked are either not black or light skinned? Like, the only black girl that got picked really was K Capri, and she's like light skinned. So it's obvious Jocelyn has a little bit of a colors issue, but that's just my opinion. What y'all think? Let me know in the comments. So after that happens or whatever, Lexi and Chanel talk, and Lexi's basically outside. She over here smoking, all depressed. She's like, she got her shades on or whatever, all sad. She just sitting down, like all depressed. I feel so bad for Chanel. This her with her shades on, right? She got her shades on. She's like, probably playing Erykah Badu and all of the earthy music, smoking weed or whatever, and relaxing. And I guess she stayed away from everybody since she got the apples and tomatoes thrown at her, right? So Lexi Blow comes out there. She's just like, Lexi Blow to me is so fake. Oh my god, this whole conversation just rubbed me the wrong way, because she came out there and she's just like, so like, what's wrong? Chanel, you're sad. We want you to make the cabaret. You're crying? Why are you crying? You need to stop being messy. Apologize to Joselyn and make the cabaret. Don't cry. Why are you crying? Oh my god. Like, you already know how Lexi Bo is just so unauthentic to me. Like, girl, get out that girl face. You know you don't really care about that girl like that. So I felt bad because Chanel, you could tell she has like confidence issues or whatever. So being there and being in the Jocelyn's Cabaret, it's not helping with that, because all it's doing is just making it worse for her, and it's making her basically a little bit more sad than what she is or whatever, especially with Jocelyn mentally abusing her and throwing tomatoes at her. So it makes her decrease her self-confidence or whatever. And I know she regrets coming on this show. I said it every episode review. I know she regrets coming back on a season. I wish she had just set it out and they brought back like Blueface Barbie or something like that. That's what I think. So yeah. After that happens, we see Wet and Jordan in the jacuzzi. And this is Wet. Yeah, she's sitting in the pool. She put her arms out or whatever. Wet loves her boo so much. She had a bathing suit top that was see-through, right? You might as well have just take off the bathing suit top, because it was see-through. Like, we saw your nipples, we saw your titties. So it's like, why do you have a see-through bathing suit top? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, Wet to me is just like, you gotta appreciate her confidence. Her type of confidence needs to get put into Chanel, and that would make a bad bitch. It would make Chanel's skin clearer. It would make her more confident. All of that. Like, her confidence just put it into Chanel, because that's what Chanel needs to be on it. So she's in the push. She's like, yes, Jordan, we're wet. Yes. So she's talking to Jordan, whatever. Jordan's just like, I don't have any problems with Wet Wet, so I'm going to talk to Wet Wet about the cabaret and the last performance of the cabaret. So they're talking or whatever, and she's like, oh, how's the performance or whatever? And Jordan's like, oh, if you ever need help, like I could teach you some extra trick polls, like pole tricks or whatever that you would need to be able to make it past the second round or whatever for this last performance. Because these girls not spark. If I was them and I was trying to get on the cabaret, I would get lessons from Jordan and Riri. They both not gonna say no. They're gonna say yes, and they're gonna help you. I'll get pole tricks help from Jordan. I'll get pole tricks and choreography help from Jordan, and get pole tricks help from, of course, Riri. So it's like that's how I would make the cabaret. I'll be very strategic about it and use the other girls to be able to make the cabaret or whatever, right? And of course, Wet Wet was doing all of this, yes, in the pool with bruised ribs. So y'all already know she got into like 4 fights in one episode, and her ribs are still pretty much bruised, which it's a common theme this season because now Amber got bruised ribs, Riri got bruised ribs. So I guess this is a thing of the cabaret to just go for the ribs. Okay? You don't go for the pole, you go for the ribs. That's what it is now. I just don't get it. Y'all should have went for Amber's ribs that she cut. Okay, not the body ribs, not the body ribs, right? So then Lexi Blow comes, she tells the girls to do choreography, right? So she gathers all the girls or whatever. They're by that little pole section they have in the house. So Lexi Blow's like, oh, so guys, you remember the choreography that Chanel told you guys to come up with as a group? I want you guys to do that choreography right now. So then Chanel's in the confession. She's just like, see, y'all see the shady shit or whatever. The fact that now y'all doing the choreography when I've been said we needed to do the choreography. You see how it is? Y'all see how it is? Like, y'all shady, y'all shady, y'all shady. Which is true because I remember when Chanel had told him to come up with that 8 count, and Jocelyn was like, what if I told you to tell them to come up with the 8 count? I never told you that. I never told you for them to come to the choreography, and that's what they needed because somebody that I know went to the actual cabaret, which I was gonna go to. Y'all remember I made the video and everything I was gonna go to, but due to the incident that happened, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna give Jocelyn my money. That's not cool. And I heard it's not even crap anyway to even go because I know somebody that went and they said that they didn't have synchronized dancing. Like all it was Jocelyn singing her songs and the girls came out there and just started dancing or whatever, but it wasn't synchronized. And you got to remember, they're down Riri. So Riri was the one that could do the tricks, fire in the hoo-ha, all that type stuff, pop rocks in the hoo-ha, all that type. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of freaky, exotic stuff. We don't get to see none of that because Riri's not on the cabaret, like the Miami cabaret that she's doing, a little tour that she's doing. It's only Jordan and Raven, Diamond, both of them not even that good. Lollipop, so-so dancer. So you really don't have like a good-ass cabaret, in my opinion. So they start dancing or whatever, right? And then the first group to go up, of course, they have Chanel go up first. Chanel went by herself, and Chanel did good, in my opinion. Chanel did the best that she can. That little mermaid suit thing that she had, that was nice. If I was one of these cabaret girls, I would come up with my own cabaret line of clothing, like stripper wear, cabaret line type stuff. None of these girls, I don't think, have done it. I think Lexi Blow has something like that, but like Raven said, Lexi Blow said, Lexi Blow has pole grip. She has pole grip. So I don't know if she has her own cabaret type clothing, but one of these girls should be smart enough to come up with her own clothing line, cabaret like clothing line, right? So then Chanel did okay by herself. And then this is when they started doing the little groups. So the first group that went, which was the funniest thing ever, Amber, Lollipop, and Wet Wet. They made Lollipop get on the floor. Lollipop looked like she was about to give birth. They have her with her legs in the air, right? Remember when Joseline gave birth in that birthing center, the epidural? She was just like, I'm not even thinking the epidural. That's what it looked like Lollipop was doing. Because Lollipop had her legs in the air. You have you have Amber holding her legs or whatever, and then you have Wet Wet on the side of it. The music starts playing. Wet Wet starts caressing the inside of her leg. They open Lollipop legs up, and then they go, boom! I expected a baby to just fly out that bitch. I said, this is a fool. I don't know who came up with that choreography with that whole leg thing, but it was awkward because when they had to get up, you could tell Lollipop was scared to kind of move her head because she was scared that Wet Wet or one of them was going to accidentally kick her on the floor. And you already know all three of them don't really get along like that. So either Wet Wet or Amber could have kicked in the face and be like, oh, my bad. You didn't know the choreography right. So they start getting up or whatever. And this is where I think Amber should have got picked because she killed it. Like she did the boom, boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, cat. Like she did the whole Janet Jackson type movement, and it was smooth and it was nice. You feel me? We gonna get to the later part of the episode where she danced again, where I don't think she did good, but this part she should have gotten picked just off of this little performance. But that's besides the point. So to me, Amber did the best out of the three. So then it was Raven, Henny, and then Diamond, right? Henny, I feel like was a last minute cast. I love her. I've seen like an interview of hers and like on social media and stuff like that. Y'all saw me join the live with them. She seems like a cool girl, but like you could tell like Zeus was like, oh shoot, we need one more girl. We need like a Spanish type girl that's probably from the Bronx. Oh, Henny? All right, bet. Come join the cabaret. Like you can tell she wasn't like really a dancer or anything like that. So she was a last minute cast in my opinion. To me, Raven can't even dance that good because like I said, Amber was right early in the episode because she does the sitting down on the toilet. That's the sitting down on the toilet. The Raven does that for every dance, every single dance. She like you sitting down on the toilet. That's what Raven does for every single dance. So Raven didn't do that good. Diamond did a little good or whatever, but average, right? So after that, Lexi takes. Oh yeah, I forgot our last group. K Capri, Jordan, and Riri. They did the best to me, in my opinion. They did the best to me as a group, and individually, I think Amber did the best too. So they did that little split choreography or whatever. Of course, like I said, Jordan and Riri are the best dancers out of the whole house. I don't know why Jocelyn caught a fit. Well, I do know why, because she's jealous that Riri was using her makeup artist. That's why Jocelyn doesn't really mess with Riri anymore, because Riri started using her creative director and makeup artist Loso. So you already know how Jocelyn is. She don't like people using her employees or using people that she worked with because she's like jealous and insecure. So that's why she don't really mess with Riri. Plus, she thought that Riri was on live talking crap about her, which she wasn't. People just went to her and said that to instigate probably Diamond and Raven. So that's why Riri was kicked out of the cabaret or whatever, which was not smart in my opinion. So Lexi takes out the girls for lunch, right? She takes out the girls for lunch, and then the host for that lunch or whatever, the caterer, whoever that guy was, he needs a raise because he came out there. He's like, hi, ladies. Today, we're going to be eating this. And then I'm going to make sure I'll take care of you guys. And here's the appetizers here. Here's the lunch here. Here's the big drink. And here's this and here's that. Like, he was doing like the most. I was just like, damn, like, he probably really knew I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to make sure my restaurant, whatever location, looks the best. And we gonna make this a thing. Like he really deserves a raise, whoever he's employed by or whatever. Like for real. Cause I was shocked. So they're over here talking about who they think needs to get picked for the cabaret. Blase. Ballistic comes there, and you could tell Ballistic when the guy came out, right, to give out the drink, he was looking at him crazy because obviously the guy was gay, whatever. He was looking at him kind of like crazy, whatever, looking him up and down and stuff like that. Like I noticed that. Like I noticed little stuff like that. Just in my opinion, but that's besides the point. So after that happens, Lexi Blow, Chanel, and Amber, they talk out the drama. So they're Lexi Blow's just like, so guys, Jocelyn said you bitches were instigating drama. Do you guys know why you guys aren't in the cabaret? And Chanel's just like, yeah, like, I know I'm not in the cabaret. Like, I know. And then Amber's like, yeah, I know. And then Amber, I said this when I was watching the review. Amber needs to become an actress. Like, she's very dramatic on how she reacts to stuff, which makes perfect TV. Because she was just like, yeah, I know it's my fault. But it was your fault too, Chanel, you stupid bitch. Yeah, ho. It was your fault. And then Chanel's just like, what? How is it my fault? What are you talking about? She was just like, yeah, you had to stick your big nose in my business. Had it not been you, I would have been in the cabaret. Yeah, it is all produced. You could already tell this producers are like, y'all gonna sit over there. Y'all talk about what happened with the whole drama with Loso and da-da-da-da. Right? But Amber to me so dramatic. She gave me very much Tyler Perry actress tease, and it's the funniest thing ever. So then after they talk it out or whatever, Amber's just like, so we gonna have to fight it out to the death. You're gonna have to kill me to make the cabaret, okay? And then Chanel's just like, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to dance, and I'm gonna make the cabaret. And then Amber's just like, no, you're not. Over my dead body, I'm gonna kill you, because you're not gonna make the cabaret. And then she's like, bye, ladies. And then she ends up leaving or whatever, right? So then they have all of the girls dance individually. They have all of them dance individually or whatever. And the first person, I'm going person by person. Chanel did amazing. You could tell she's a trained dancer. She knows when to do the highs. She knows when to does the lows or whatever. Like, she can actually really, really dance. And then Wet Wet went before her. Wet Wet is a scared dancer. That's why she's not a good dancer. When she went down the pole, you know how them firefighters be going down the pole in the little firehouses? Like, they hold it with both hands and they make sure they grip tight. And they use that Lexi Blow pole grip. That's how that's how Wet Wet was dancing. Wet Wet was like, when she was going down that pole, like, she was scared for her life. Like, you could tell she's not used to really dancing on a pole. She's just used to kind of like shaking her ass and getting money and showing her titties and getting money. That's what Wet Wet was giving me. But she did really bad in that performance. Of course, she tried to do the Raven, you feel me? Like, she tried to do a little bit of that. Didn't really work. So yeah. The next person was Diamond. Diamond did good, but I feel like had she not did those tricks, she wouldn't have gotten picked. Because you guys know she got picked for the last spot or whatever. Had she not did that little pole trick, and I feel like Jordan probably taught her that, or Riri taught her that, had she not did that little pole trick that she came up with, I feel like the performance wouldn't have been as good. And I see, so this is the thing, Jocelyn be so worried about Lexi blowing all them, Riri and all that stuff. She needs to be worried about Diamond, because the way Ballistic was looking at Diamond, I could tell Ballistic want to put his ballistic balls, like I said before in another review, he wants to put his ballistic balls and cause an explosion inside Diamond. I already see that. Like, the way he was looking at her, like, he was like he was giving her that look. So I'm like, you need to be watching out for Diamond, Johnson. You over here worried about Lexi Blow, who got like fucking a village of kids and stuff that she not worried about no damn Ballistic. But you got Diamond over here with no kids, probably ready to open that pussy for Ballistic anytime he asks for it. But that's besides the point. I'm just saying. Like I said, of course, Henny, bad as usual. She didn't do really good of a performance because, like I said, I think she was a last-minute cast. The dance was so-so. Like, she was just like trying to twerk, and it wasn't that good. And yeah, another person, Amber. So this is why I feel like Amber lost me. Amber went for the Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation. She boop, 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 boop. It didn't call for that. Amber should have kind of slowed it down. Like, Johnson likes it a little slowed down, a little bit more sexual and stuff like that. I feel like had she slowed it down, like she did in her like previous performances, it would have been a little bit better. But she was just too like she had Tourette's in her booty. Like, she just kept popping her pelvis and poop, 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 pop, pop, peep, peep, peep. Like, had she slowed that down a little bit, I feel like she might have gotten picked. So it's sad she didn't kind of like realize that and kind of slow it down or whatever. They end up, of course, picking Diamond. I don't think she deserves it, in my opinion. And I feel like this would have been Amber's perfect chance to pull a Yummy and just say, boop, and knock Diamond ass out and give us a little preseason finale fight. But that wasn't going to happen, because next episode it looks kind of dry and it looks a little boring. Of course, we're all waiting for that damn reunion, y'all. We waiting for that damn reunion. I cannot wait. I really hope Zeus doesn't edit anything out. Johnson has went on Twitter and confirmed that there is going to be a reunion, because a lot of people were suspecting that they weren't going to air the reunion at all because of what happened. But there is still going to be a reunion air. So Jocelyn went on Twitter and kind of confirmed that, because a fan asked her, there was just like, is there even going to be a reunion? And then she was just like, after the last episode, baby. So that's basically confirming there is going to be a reunion. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Like I said, I think it was like so it's kind of boring or whatever, but we shouldn't be expecting much at this point. All of the fights and stuff have already happened. I'm interested to see if there is going to be another season of this show. It might not be because of all the controversy. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Leave your comments down below. No.